You've seen the view, heard all the real talk. Now have a seat at our table. A table for 5.
So I think you had some really good questions that you wanted to ask.
About weight gain, losing weight. This week or last week or this not too long ago, there was an experiment that was done by a British actress that she took 3 months to gain 50 pounds. She ate 6,500 calories a day.
Why?
She said because she wanted to prove that overweight people only have themselves to blame. I don't believe you can be fat and happy. I think that's a cop out.
That's not true.
Right. So she called it fat shaming.
Because she gained weight purposely, but she not
she
living
wasn't
a
born
life
like
of a person that come out fat.
Right.
I didn't come out fat, but
Hold on, that doesn't include me. But anyway.
But see, here's the deal. Check this out. I, as a child, went to the allergist, and he told my mother I was allergic to beef and pork, eggs, watermelon, grapes, and crab. Mm-hmm. So he said, eventually you will grow out of it. You will be able to eat it. Well, as I continued on, I didn't eat those things, but I ate other stuff. So what happened was I grew more into my allergies, not knowing, and I should have, if I knew as much as I knew now, I would have known it was a protein with the fact that beef, eggs, pork, you know what I mean? That's all protein right there. So me paying attention now, I'm realizing like, wow, all this time I was eating chicken thinking, oh, I'm not allergic to this, but that was a protein source that I am allergic to. So the fat was just pounding on and going over to the side like, I don't know what the hell to do with you. I'm just here, I'm gonna put you right there.
So for somebody that has issues like you that's allergic to protein, how do you replace because you need protein.
Right. So because I just started this whole new regimen thing, I'm doing a juice. It's Neil Cotta Splash. It's not something that's cheap. You have to order it to get it in. It's 27 little juice cartons, and they have protein in it, but it's not animal protein. And so I'm basically getting my nutrients from there. And then I'll eat like a salad, and I do eat fish and like some seafoods, but I'm not, I take my vitamins daily, and I just been doing that for the last month, and already I lost like 15 pounds.
That's great. But see, that costs money to do.
But exactly, you need to, because a box of food for me is $130-something every week.
Wow.
But, which is not bad, because if I was, for me, if I was eating out, I would spend more than that in a week. But people that don't necessarily have the money, that are, they going to the McDonald's or other fast food chains eating stuff because they need nutrients. They need to be replenished with nourishment, and that's where they think they're getting it at. And then I heard something on NPR the other day, 95% of our tomatoes are being steam processed. Yeah. So we're not even getting real tomatoes. Imagine all the other stuff that we're not getting. Our glued meat. They gluing chicken together with cow's blood. They gluing beef together with pig's blood. So we don't know what the hell we eating these days.
Yeah, there's a chemical. There's a chemical called ractopamine. It's banned in 160 different
except for United
countries,
States.
Except the United States.
What is that? Is that the glue you're talking about?
It's a chemical, and it's been proven to cause hyperactivity, muscles breaking down, 10% mortality rate in pigs. Yeah, and it's actually been FDA approved.
So where is it found?
What is it?
Every meat. It's given to non-organic livestock, poultry. Yeah, so any animal protein. If it's not organic, it's in your meat.
Wow.
And
everybody don't know this.
And that's where I was going to say, I don't think it's a choice to be overweight. I really don't. I just think people don't know better.
Right.
They think, well, I'm just going and getting Foster's Farms chicken. There's no ingredients but chicken. But there's
you
all
don't know
kinds
what
of ingredients.
You don't know what you don't know. Right? It's all about education.
Your body is reacting to it. So I feel like the weight gain is a reaction to something else that's going on in your body, your system at the time.
And some things I was severely allergic to, so I would get, my lips would swell up. Like, I can't drink wine. My lips swell up.
God, that's horrible.
Horrible. Your lips really hot.
Jay and I would die.
I would just kill myself right now. You can't even drink wine.
My throat swells up instantly. My lips swell up. My tongue itch. But I knew the reaction that caused me, so I wouldn't do it. But I didn't know the reaction of other foods that I would necessarily eat. I knew sometimes I would have hemorrhoids from certain stuff. But I didn't know that inflammation, but I didn't know that I was right to the fact that the protein is going over here, sitting saying, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna stay right here. So
what about exercise? So are you've doing this diet, or not diet, but the juicing thing? So are you working out?
I go to the gym every day.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I find this interesting that we're focusing on Marguerite, but I think that, and maybe you can answer this question, is do we, in our society, I can't speak outside of the United States of America, we kind of put a size, height, measurement bar. That we're supposed to be this weight, this size, this height, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, how about if she's happy that's what the lady was trying to prove. Like, oh, you're fat because you want to be fat. But how about if she says, I'm happy being this size?
Yeah.
Why do I have to lose weight? Who's telling me? If she feels healthy, then why do we have to advise her and say, maybe you should lose a little bit of weight? Who creates those standards?
Yeah, I mean, Felicia and I have talked about before, like the national average, I think is a size 10 or 12.
12, I think 12
to 14, right? I don't know. I don't feel like that's the average in our city.
I don't know.
Right? Everybody kind of has these strict standards, and I think it's hard for people because I think if they feel like they can't even come close to it, they just throw in the towel and they go, forget it. I can't even get there. I'm just happy the way I am.
But I think it depends on the area that you live in too, because down south or back east, not all, like people believe in working out and trying to eat healthy, but they think like you gotta have some meat on your bones.
Right.
On somebody.
Right. In some countries,
well, like it's cold,
in
the East
bone
Coast,
thin is not cute. Right. In other
you want to
cultures,
keep warm.
being bone thin is cool.
thin is good. But
But that's because that's your Asian culture.
Because you
guys
get
don't
criticized.
have, do you have the hormones that we have in our food? Do they have that?
Probably not.
Well, probably not. But these days, gotten more because we are getting more
people.
Right? More like even meats, even the milk from states. It's more choices that we can have. So it's, I think more selection you can choose. People will just jump on it and try the new thing, and then it maybe hurts a little bit of teenagers. They have a hormone. Sometimes I get so worried about just buying milk that just thinking about even if it's organic. What if they have a hormone injection? Even though they say, "Oh, no hormones." How are you gonna really believe that?
Who's managing to
right?
Because who's gonna put a cow in their backyard and start milking the cow? But sometimes, like at some points, I feel like, well, that's what I need to do. I need to go get some chickens so I can have some eggs. I need to have a little box
I would like to do that.
I can grow some lettuce, and I can't.
Well, I remember growing up and having milk delivered to our apartment in the Bronx.
Me too.
And my mom used to have a little metal box,
So did
and
we.
in our glass jars, we would
go
get
in the box.
little 4 to 6.
So,
But do you think that milk was better?
What is your
Probably was, because they say, I'm sorry, but they say things in glass is better than in cartons and in plastic.
Yeah.
And our milk was
that
delivered
was
in
before I
glass.
was putting all the hormones in the food.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
So, I have a question. Okay, my honest answer would be, people ask me why you work out, then I'm like, I want to maintain certain size of me. I want to maintain my look of it. Not necessarily, I want to be so healthy. If I say that, I'm like straight up lying.
That's good.
Right.
I want to be healthy.
So what is your...
That's the truth. That is the truth.
I want to fit it in skinny jeans, walk out, and look fabulous. So what is your kind of like honest motivation that you give out your client?
I try to figure out theirs because it's different for different people, right? So there's a difference between an internal motivation and an external motivation. So external motivation might be, well, everybody and their mom is telling me that I need to get my cholesterol down and be healthier so that I can be around for my kids. But if I'm somebody who that it's just not clicking for me and I want to fit in my skinny jeans, I could tell myself all day that, I'm working out to get my cholesterol down. It's not going to do it for me.
Right.
So
and that's a good point. Do you want to fit in your skinny jeans? And I think that's all about self-image too, which is something that we really need to talk about and get into when we come back.
Thank you. I think boys and girls, mostly we focus on girls suffering from self-image, but I think young boys suffer from that. And I think that it's proven, because I looked it up, self-image being a clinical term, actually, a personal or mental picture that we have of ourselves. And self-image is a product of learning. It's a
What you've learned about yourself.
It's what people put on you. what people put on you.
For example, I have issues. I have a lot of clients that have issues with their hair texture. There's nothing wrong with their hair texture.
It took her how many years to talk me off the ledge?
Their hair texture is fine, but because of growing up, everybody used to say, "Oh, you got this curly hair. It's just so thick and coarse." But today, those are the women that got hair on their head, and those are the women that have hair when they get 60 or 70. Whereas some people won't because their hair is fine and thin.
If you tell a child, I don't like the way your hair looks,
Right.
they'll never think their hair looks good enough.
Exactly.
If you tell a child that dress, it looks, they will always remember the negative. I can say that I'm, however many years old, and I could still go back to being a child and remember the points of criticism that just stayed. And I'm her client, and when I walked in the door, she knew, oh Lord, this is therapy before I even get to her hair. And she would say, sit in my chair, lay back, because it was just talking me off love your hair, and it took me a minute. So
and that makes a lot of sense too, because it was a report that I read a couple months back that it was mostly geared towards girls. They were saying that the self-esteem of the average girl child in this country peaks at the age of 9.
Wow.
That was so disheartening to me.
That's terrifying.
How is it at the age of 9?
Oh,
this is the best you're gonna feel about yourself when you're in the third.
So by the time
grade.
we're 40,
we're done.
No, by the time you're 10, you're screwed.
my daughter's on it down.
All the self-deprecation has already begun. So you only have 9 good years, or really less than that, of really self-worth and happiness.
And you just could only hope that whoever's
That's an
parenting
average.
or speaking into that child is good enough, is telling them you're good enough,
Building
you're
them
great,
up.
Right.
you're beautiful, this is wonderful, who you're going to be, your brain, not so much your image. Have you ever had a child as a client?
Oh my gosh, so many.
Really?
Yeah, so many. And it's I get them from like early teens, and it's interesting.
Is it a self-esteem?
What is that?
Yeah, it's you know what? It's
Oh my
usually
Lord.
these girls that there is nothing wrong with them. Just like you say with their hair, there is not a thing wrong with them. They just might not fit the cookie cutter mold. So maybe they're like 5'9".
Body dysmorphia.
But also,
You know.
that is the parents making them feel like they don't fit the cookie cutter mold. Because if you love on your child, give them the love language that they need to be.
Yeah.
But you know what?
I like that love
Yeah, you have to give them the
Yeah,
love
but
language
you know what?
that they need.
Sometimes the child spends more time watching TV than they
Right.
spend with their parent or an adult.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's being
Right.
fed in the media is what they
Right.
want to emulate.
Yeah.
And if they want to look skinny, you know what I'm saying? So we're battling two things. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, the way our society is set up to working household, there's this dynamic where they're watching more on their iPhones, on their laptops, iPads.
But you know what? And also, you need to educate your child if that's the case, and you see that your child's looking in the mirror going, I look fat in these jeans or whatever.
Right.
In your head, you're going, something must have. Then you say, you know what, honey? Those people on TV or those women in the magazine, they're airbrushed, they're thinned out, a tan is put on them, the wrinkles are taken out, their hair's streaked.
Yeah.
I mean, they look nothing like
But
that.
I know
It's
we're
so
talking about kids,
unrealistic.
but that we could say that about adults.
Adults,
Yeah.
women.
Shoot, I want to be a 0. But I think we struggle with that, and we don't realize that even though we may not verbally say, but we do struggle with our image.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, and I think body language has a lot to do with it. It doesn't even have to be your own child, but emulating good self-confidence.
Yeah.
If I'm around someone else's children, if I don't have a child, it all depends on how you carry yourself. If you're happy with yourself, then they'll see that. But if you're a parent and you don't have a lot of time and your kids are seeing this on television, and even the slightest thing, they pick up on so many things.
Oh, yeah.
The slightest thing, I just don't like my hair. Why is my hair? If the more they hear you complaining about yourself as their parent or as their aunt, their
sinks
uncle,
in.
their grandparent,
Definitely
whoever
lands.
it's in there, and they're getting that, and if they're getting that from you, then that's where they're learning it. So I think as parents or people around children, which everyone in this world is around children, whether you want to be or not, you have to be very aware.
And it's a thin line because you have people, for example, that always speak good about one particular child or always give this child compliments.
Yeah.
Oh, I love your dimples, or your hair is great, or whatever. And then that child grow up and think that that's all they have that's fabulous. And as soon as one person say, your hair look a mess or your dimples are ugly, then that breaks them down. So it's a thin line. But
that is true.
I do believe that your self-esteem is built from your parents and your family and the love that you get and the support that you get and the hugs and the touches. I love you. You're beautiful. I love you. You're beautiful. I believe that's where it comes from, and you just continue to build that up. Because honest, you guys, I don't have as much issues as y'all talking about y'all self-image.
Yes, I know that.
I am very
You're the only person I've met that is like that. I'm honest to God. I've never met anybody like
That's a
that.
beautiful thing.
Yes.
That is a beautiful
That's a
thing.
sign of a
Good
strong
for you.
I don't go around looking at myself like, oh gosh, she got a great butt. I want to have her butt, or oh, this fat. I can't go outside because this fat. What? I will go outside in a bikini top. Matter of fact, when I'm working out in the gym, I'm working out like this in the gym.
Are you?
I can't do it. And I'm in here trying to lose weight. My focus is I'm trying to make sure I continue to be healthy. Yes. But this is who I am. Like you gonna hate me because I'm fat and I got an extra roll, or I might got a stretch marks. We all got tattoos. Yeah. Some got ink tattoos. I got stretch marks. Shit. But I say that to say, like, it really depends on how they raised and how my mother, grandmother did not. It wasn't, and we watch TV. They watch TV. I'm not really into TV, but they did not point out your hair is ugly or you got beautiful hair. It wasn't, certain things wasn't even talked about. My grandmother was adamant about you need to stay in your girdle.
Wow.
She
That's
brought us girdles.
School.
Yeah, she brought us girdles.
That,
But I was like, shit, I don't want to stay in the girdle. I'm going to let it all hang out. And so that's why it's all hanging out now, because I ain't want to stay in the girdle. There we go. But needless to say, I'm comfortable in my own skin. Yeah. And I don't have that, I want to look like that. And then I know, because I'm in Hollywood, and I know that everything, those women in the magazines, on TV, they airbrush. They working out 10 hours a day in the gym. They have food people making food for them. So shit, if that was my concentration, if it was all about my image and that was my field of work, I would look just like them.
Yeah. But a lot of people don't know that, I don't think. I don't think a lot of people understand what goes into it, that people are airbrushed. I mean, listen, I was in my mid-20s before I even started getting my eyebrows done, because I would see these people on TV and in magazines, and God, they look so pretty and beautiful. And then I really started paying attention. Well, what makes them so beautiful? Oh, that person colors their hair. I didn't even realize people colored their hair. I was so stupid. Like, and get their eyebrows done. In part, I know my math. But you know, if people don't really understand that or don't think about that, like, I also, realize that people get tan, people get airbrushed. Like, who does that? Oh, I guess a lot of people do, because when you're tanner, you don't look as fat.
But they're trying to fit into a mold.
So the reality is
they're trying to fit into a mold.
It's fake.
I have a question. So, knowing all that, why would you actually do it? Like, as I say, you meet somebody like Jay, then I'm like, I have to fit it in size 0. No way. But how are you gonna train people that they need more kind of self-esteem issues, kind of help with that, or self-image issues? Like, is there any kind of food program that you're suggesting, or are there kind of a minute of exercise you're suggesting something?
Well,
that maybe
exercise
people can
alone,
hear?
just bringing the heart rate up and making the body move, improves confidence. They've done studies like with yoga alone. People that do yoga, if nothing about their body composition changes, their confidence increases.
So
You said that's the endorphins, right?
Yeah.
Your brain releases endorphins.
Exactly. And you just get in touch with your body, so you feel more confident.
How about the food? Any kind of food that
Regulating
make
your
people
blood sugar.
calm?
If your blood sugar is all over the place, your mood is going to be all over the place. Yeah.
So that's why
So eating regularly,
people be spazzing
increasing
out.
protein.
You need some food.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's
What's wrong with
true.
you?
That's true.
It is true.
Wow.
Yeah.
Blood sugar.
Yep.
Okay, that's
That's-
important.
Well,
to know.
Nadine, do you have a website that people can
I do.
reach out to?
I do. Yeah, it's scvfitnesssolutions.com.
Say it slow.
scvfitnesssolutions.com.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you
so
so much for joining us. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, next time.
Thank you for joining us at Table for 5. Please like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. We hope you were informed, educated, and entertained. See you next time.